how to properly expose the affiliate opportunity. I hope everybody's excited for this. Peter Drucker famously said that knowledge has to be improved, challenged, and increased constantly, or it vanishes. I'm gonna say that again. Knowledge has to be improved, challenged, and increased constantly, or it begins to vanish. Mr. McDaniel just now proved that for us, right? How many of you realize that that is only going to happen when you have been pouring knowledge into yourself constantly and consistently? You know, they say every 5 years, 80% of any individualized knowledge disappears. So I want to encourage you to take notes. Do not be a member of the Wonder family. Y'all see what he's doing there? He's like, me in class taking pictures of notes on the board that I know I'll never look at again. I want to challenge you to actually review these notes. I'm going to try and convince Mr. McDaniel to split these trainings up into individual portions so we can load them up on SoundCloud, because I know you're going to need what he just now said on commitment, and I know you're going to need that presentation that Miss Kiamber Vaughn just now did. Is it any wonder that her credit score is 821,000, right? With that level of knowledge, is it any wonder that she's debt-free and been able to put all of this net worth in her legacy, right? Like that's what we call wifey material, right, fellas? So how do we get there? It's all about keeping it simple. Brilliance is simplicity. Genius is simplicity. I just want to suggest you take a screenshot of this. This is as hard as your business gets when you're talking about bringing in affiliates. And that's what I'm here to focus on today. I want to focus you on we've been doing phenomenally as a company at bringing in customers. And for those that don't know, in a home-based business, that's almost like a unicorn. It's almost like the holy grail of this thing, because most people do not have what we call customers. Most of these companies are just selling the comp plan. And I don't want to cast aspersions. We're not going to get into that. That's a whole different training. But I want you to understand that that ain't our problem. I mean, we don't have no problems, to be honest with you. But what we've got in droves is customers. I mean, have you been in that testimony group? We've got customer after customer after customer, and people are getting phenomenal results. Even before we got started this year, we'd already removed in the past, 4 years since I've been involved, about 1 million items from people's credit reports. But that number has grown exponentially since we've begun this Nove 2.0 affiliate program. So what I want you to understand is that this training right here is going to have a lot to do with you growing your business as an affiliate, us beginning to grow your net worth, like Ms. Vaughn talked about, us beginning to give you some belief so that it strengthens your commitment, like Mr. McDaniel talked about. So I hope you guys are really ready to take notes. I want to start with a small story. You guys know that Golden State just now won the championship, grabbed it from LeBron once again. Do you know one of the main culprits in that was not Steph Curry? Well, no, Steph Curry was one of the main culprits, but another one was a guy named Tony Robbins. I want to suggest that you listen to the principle that I'm about to give you, because he's the one that lost LeBron his first championship. When the Mavericks beat him, it's because Tony Robbins was training him. He's trained everybody from Michael Jordan to presidents of the United States. One of his newest clients is, two of his newest clients are the Washington Capitals, who just now won the Stanley Cup, and then the Golden State Warriors, who just now swept the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? So this guy kind of knows what he's doing when it comes to performance psychology. And he loves doing it in the world of sports because you can see the scoreboard a lot easier. It's not even a metaphor when you start talking about sports. We always talk about running up the scoreboard, and we're using it like, hey, we're going to, really get some impact going out there. We're going to impact our bank accounts. We're going to impact people's lives. Well, in sports, when you're talking about hockey or basketball, you're talking about literally running up the scoreboard. So one time, Tony Robbins was faced with this story where the team had done like the Cavaliers, gotten all the way to the end. Well, not like the Cavaliers, because this team, it went to game 7. I mean, we had the brooms out by game 2 this particular basketball season. But in this particular year, this team, I believe it was the Houston Rockets, had gone all the way to game 7, and then they lost. And now the coach is trying to get them to put their all into it. He's saying, hey, we need 25% improvement. And the team is like, what are you talking about? We're the best in the world. We only lost by 1 game. What do he mean he wants 25% improvement? They're about to have a revolt until they realize one simple concept. 25% improvement does not mean every player on the floor has improved 25%. 25% improvement turns out when you start looking at the magic of what I call revenue acceleration math, or the magic of just breaking things down into their particular categories, because whatever gets measured gets better. Write that down. Whatever gets measured gets better. It turns out that you can improve that team 25% by just improving each of the starting 5%. Now, how do you do that? You break down 5 different categories and get each player to improve by 1%. If we get each of the 5 to improve in 5 different categories by 1% each, then cumulative, we have improved the entire bottom line by 25%. I'm sharing that story with you so that you understand how powerful the concepts are that I'm about to break down for you. If you utilize this, which is the same kind of stuff that I teach businesses in my coaching practice, is the same kind of stuff that I've been consulting for companies with and giving them, whether you're talking about Fortune 500 companies like a Red Bull, whether you're talking about Scion, this is how I transformed my life. I wasn't always able to even share it with everybody. If you look at even our YouTube channel, et cetera, so forth, I've got videos on there that may have 20,000 views, and I'm giving pieces of it. But because it's all about being a team player, man, you got to do what they always tell you to do. Get some results first, and then people will ask you how you did it. Don't be like these gurus that are settling for the adulation of the crowd instead of results, because they like training more than they like implementing what the heck they're talking about. No, if you're really going to be great, you're going to have to do it first, because nobody says monkey talk, monkey listen. It's monkey see, monkey do. Other day I was at the car wash, and this brother over at the Benz dealership, he's washing my car and stuff, and he's like, man, I know you're in the music business. Can I give you my record? Can I give you my demo? Or really, he was trying to get me the link to some Spinzilla or something like that. And ironically, although I do come from the music business, like done plenty of ghostwriting, I got songs in movies, all kinds of stuff like that. It's not how I got the car. How I got the car that he was referring to is from exactly what I'm about to teach you. So I hope you take it. Listen, I was just homeless about 5.5 years ago. Now I have no mortgage. I paid off my condo completely. And what's crazy is the day I closed on the condo, not too long ago, I had enough cash sitting there that if this were day one, I could have bought the thing in cash, right? How does that happen? I'm about to teach you how. So take this dead serious. If I can do this, you can do this. I love what Mr. McDaniel just laid out about the inflation of procrastination, meaning if you don't pay for it now, you're going to have to pay a lot more in the future. Now, he didn't say it that way, but I come from the music business. It rhymes, the inflation of procrastination. You're going to hear that again. But my point to you is that I want you to look at these categories. If this was basketball, then we'd be saying rebounds, 3-pointers, block shots, loose ball scrambles, free throw percentage, right? We'd be looking at these different categories and looking to raise them up. It's really small percentage points so that we can increase the bottom line exponentially. Well, we're not talking about basketball. We're talking about building your business. So what are the categories that you want to look at? Here we go. Leads. Meaningful conversations. This is any business, y'all. Any business. I challenge you to think of a business that does not involve these 7 categories I'm giving you. Appointments, presentations, conversions, follow-ups, and then the upsell. You've got to have these 7 categories logged in your journal. You've got to be paying attention to them. And then it's all about ratios. Mr. McDaniel talked about ratios earlier. Here's all I want you to know about ratios, y'all. Every 10 times you do anything, we should be looking to adopt, adapt, and improve. we should be looking to have a debriefing. We should be having some kind of session so that we can analyze what your percentage is. Because after you get a 10 of something done, it's really easy to figure out the percentage. If 3 of the 10 were successful, you're 30%. If 7 of the 10 were successful, you're 70%. But if you don't even know the numbers, you're lost in the sauce. You can't manage something you don't measure. And whatever gets measured gets better. All right. So what I'm going to do today, and real quickly, is I'm going to give you some little hacks. I'm going to give you some little secrets. I'm going to give you some little tricks of the trade that will allow you to sort of, shall we say, exponentially improve your bottom line through these really small incremental improvements. Write this down. Kaizen. Kaizen. If you're on in the mornings with us for Good Morning Millionaire, you're already familiar with the concept. It comes to us from Japan. Kai meaning change and Zen meaning for the better. When you combine the two, it's basically a concept that explains that if you will just improve really small ways, see, because most people, write this down, they vastly overestimate what they can do in the next 2 to 3 months. And then they vastly underestimate what they can do in the next 2 to 3 years. Kaizen helps us to illustrate that. Do you know that if you will just improve 0.5% every week, which is basically like 0.1% every weekday, Monday through Friday, if you will just improve in anything 0.1%, 5 days a week, that's 0.5% a week. That's 2% a month. That's 26% a year. Because don't forget, they're 52 weeks. I know there's only 12 months, and you know, but they're 52 weeks in a year. That's 26% a year. If you will improve then 0.1% every weekday, you will double every 2.7 years. Whether you're talking about doubling your performance, doubling your output, or doubling your income, you are going to double every 2.7 years off just something that's almost so small you can barely measure it, like 0.1%. Millionaires, I hope you hear me. Because what I'm going to do is give you some hacks. I'm going to give you some secrets that are going to let you up these categories 10%, not just 0.1%, but you're going to be able to up them at least 10%. Let's hurry up and get into it because we got a lot to cover. First of all, I'm going to give you 24 places to get leads. Leads is our first category, right? So let's talk about some hacks that will help you to increase the leads you get. Some of you have burned through some of your normal instinctive lead sources. So what I want to do is help you to become more powerful in this category, because leads are the gasoline that you're pouring into the engine. Leads are the gasoline that you're pouring into the engine, right? I mean, nothing goes without leads, baby. Number one, preeminence. Preeminence. This is a strategy that I do not see enough of the Nove family using. I don't see enough people use it in general, but I definitely don't see enough of our family using it. Preeminence. That means you've got to come from before that. You know, sometimes you hear people judging time and they'll say BC. That means before Christ, right? Listen, you got to come from before that prospect ever heard of the business that you're in. Preeminence. How do you establish preeminence? How do you establish authority and dominance in your world? Well, here are 3 small suggestions that you'll be able to extrapolate many more suggestions from this, because you'll see where I'm going with this. One is writing columns. We all got 7, 8, 9, 10 newspapers in our city. They're desperate for content. Write a column for them. Kiamber Vaughn just now showed you a section in our back office on our websites where you can pull all this knowledge from all the experts, all the best that ever did it. You can basically represent that knowledge into a column, not just a Facebook post, you hear me, but into a column. And now you got these columns you're writing for in your city. You are an expert. You're preeminent. You are the one who has jumped out there and served first. If you out-teach everybody else in your industry, you're going to out-earn everybody else in your industry. All right. Film Facebook videos. Now, obviously, you guys know that I'm a proponent of this. You know, the minute you begin to amass some knowledge, you got to start sharing it. The only way to keep it is to give it away, y'all. The only way to keep it is to give it away. I humbly suggest that you get on a plan where you're filming at least 1 Facebook Live video a week. Another one is you can start guesting on talk radio. Do guest spots on talk radio. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, right now I'm in the DC area, my hometown, right? But even when I was out the country last weekend, there were community radio stations, right? In Atlanta, it's called WRFG. The numbers are 89.3. Here in the DC area, it's still 89.3, but it's called WPFW. No matter where you go, there are local radio stations that, again, you can do a guest talk on financial literacy once a week, once a day. The more you do this, the more you become known as an expert. And then there are all kinds of ways you can parlay one of those into other opportunities. Like, don't you think it's easier to write for the newspaper when you tell them you're a guest host on a radio show? Don't you think it's easier to get a guest spot on the radio show at the point they know you write for this newspaper? Well, of course. I mean, and you can do the same thing for blogs. You can do the same thing for a lot of different things. But I want you to start thinking, what would make me the authority in my space? What are some things I can do to up my platform? Millionaires, this is the connection economy. This is the middleman economy. This is a world where you've got Rihanna selling more makeup than models. You've got Rihanna selling more lingerie than stores that have hundreds of locations, because she represents a middleman between her fans and whatever the product is. You've got to establish preeminence so that your middlemandom can be as lucrative as possible. Here's number 2, networking events. I'm talking about Chamber of Commerce. I'm talking about Toastmasters. I'm talking about workshops. I'm talking about classes. You offer personal credit and you offer business credit. Listen, business credit is an often overlooked part of what we do. Everybody you know that has an EIN number, they're just using it to open a bank account. They don't know how to use it to get a company car or how to get that office in the company name. Well, what Nove does for them is help them strengthen and augment the business portion of their credit so that they become lender qualified. This is where those $50,000 guaranteed loans you hear from. Well, guess what? When you go into the Chamber of Commerce, you're talking a language they want to hear. When you go to places like Toastmasters, you're around winners. Nobody else would be in there except people that want to win. Am I making sense? When you go to workshops and classes, Mr. McDaniel was talking about how he spent 6 figures on personal development. I know I'm close to that figure, if not past it. You know, I know that I'm also there, if not just underneath it. Millionaires, when you go to these things, you're surrounded by winners. What do I mean by winners? I'm saying people who expect to win. There's a word for people that expect to lose as well. But we're talking about winners. Millionaires, you want to go to these workshops, you want to go to these classes, you want to grab business cards. You're like, well, what do I say to them? I already knew that, Haziq, but what do I say? We're going to get to that in a minute. But right now, I want you to understand and take the screenshots of this so that you can refer back to it. Don't be a member of the Wonder family, where you're going to be wondering what happened and wondering how these people are always on the leaderboard because you never looked at your notes because you are playing Stevie Wonder. All right, here's number 3, Craigslist. You got passive leads on Craigslist and you got active strategy on Craigslist. So what do I mean? Passive versus active is one kind, is like you're looking at other people's ads and you're like, hey, they were smart enough to advertise here, so let me reach out to them. They're obviously about it. They're obviously trying to bust a grape. Let me reach out to them and see what's really good. And then you have the other one, which is where you're the one that places the ad. So look at Craigslist. This is a place to get leads. Number 4, Facebook. How many of you are adding X amount of people to your Facebook page daily? Some of you are like me. You have 5,000 friends. I think I may have, close to 10,000 followers on Facebook. Not like my IG, which I wish I could hurry up and get to 10,000 so I could start using the swipe up feature. So if anybody wants to help me out there, I definitely wouldn't be mad. I promise I give value, But with Facebook, many of you don't have that problem of being 5,000 full and you can't even add nobody else. Listen, I'm so annoyed by these 5,000 friends I got because I never see none of them. You know when I see them? When Facebook tells me it's their birthday. So what I do is on their birthday, I greet them and then I unfollow them. Like, where you been, bro? sis, right? But not you. So what you can do is add 10 people every day. Add 7 people every day. Make sure they're not already signed up for something. And if they are signed up for something, you know, it's good if they're signed up for FES or Lexington Law Firm, stuff like that. I'm just playing. Some of y'all done shared me on y'all's open pages, and now I'm gonna be, you know, they're gonna be mad at me. But listen, you know, never mind. I'm not even gonna get started. But here's my point. Add X amount of people daily. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 for Facebook is engage the friends you never speak with. Talk to them. Like their post. Go to different people on your friends list and see what they up to. Hey man, long time no speak. What's up? You know, sometimes you'll remember other things based on where you met this person. You know, it's very valuable, but not enough people do it. So write down in your notes, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. Remember, we talked about Kaizen. Those small increments will lead to massive transformation. So even if it's 10 or 15 minutes a day, do it daily. Spend a little time adding new people. Spend a little time engaging with new people. Here's number 5, Facebook groups. You know, Jim Rohn, E.T. the hip hop preacher, different credit score groups. What are you doing to get involved in these groups? And listen, it's not all about posting in a group. Sometimes it's about adding people who are posting in a group or commenting in the group. Just add them out the blue. Number 6, business card cork boards. Some of you will go to a Whole Foods in Atlanta. We got a spot called Seven Nanda, and they'll have these these business card cork boards, almost like little community centers, and you'll see people putting their cards up there. You know what you're looking at? You're looking at somebody who's industrious. You're looking at somebody who's ambitious. You're looking at a winner. Take their cards down, take their number down, and call these people. Like, hey, I'm looking for some key leaders in this area. You know, we'll get to some of that in a minute, but call these people. Number 7, it's called tap rooting. It's another good place to get leads. And you see, I put use personal problems. Some of you have a car that's in the shop. Some of you have a summer camp to pay for. Some of you have debt to pay down and credit scores that you want to improve. Use this stuff. These are resources. When you're talking to your family and friends, let them know, I'm trying to get my car out the shop. Let them know, I need to just, listen, I know this probably ain't for you. We call that a what? A takeaway. I know this probably isn't for you, but man, do you know 3 people? I just need you to do me a favor and write down 3 people for me that have less than perfect credit, but want to own a house one day, or they want to get a better rate on their next car purchase. I need 3 people, man. Can you do that for me? Now, you know, they say by the time we leave high school, we know about 12,000 people on a first name basis, believe it or not. So they know 3. They know more than that. Trust me. They just, even the ones that look real good, their credit score is in the what? The toilet bowl. What's number 8? Google city name and professionals. So for me, I would put in something like Atlanta Realtors, Atlanta Financial Planners, Atlanta Car Salespeople. Number 9, meetup.com and LinkedIn. Do you know the average income of somebody on LinkedIn is $100,000? Number 10, Twitter. What I love about Twitter is that you can just search something like looking for a house. It don't even have to be attached to a hashtag. You can just put in looking for a house. And anybody who has typed in that specific phrase will just pop up in your Twitter search. People you don't know from Adam. You know, you got to really think out what kind of phrases you're going to use, because, you know, your prime customer probably wouldn't type in, hey, does anyone know somebody who's doing credit repair? So you can type in credit repair, but it might not get you the best leads. You got to be more creative than that. I've got faith in you. You know, looking for a home, looking for a realtor. That's somebody who's probably looking for some credit repair. Use Twitter. 11, YouTube. Again, you know, you can start your own YouTube channel, but you can also go to other people's YouTubes and follow the people and become friends with the people who are on their pages. So if you go to something like Dave Ramsey, if you go to something like, you know, Chris Hogan, if you go to somebody like Robert Kiyosaki, hopefully some of these names ring a bell to you. Susie Orman, if you just search some of these people in your search engine, what you're going to get is a bunch of their fans, and this is similar to what you can do on Facebook. you'll get a bunch of their fans, which means that they are in the right mindset to appreciate what it is we got. In other words, they're not just starving, they're hungry. God don't help the starving, God helps the hungry. Speaking of that, church events, right? Church events, mosque and masjid events, temple events, right? Go to religious gatherings because these are people that are looking for increase. They're looking to improve. They are acknowledging some pain in their life many times. When you go there, these are excellent places to network because you already got something in common. We both believe some of the same things. That's powerful. Number 13, pay it forward. So with that, we're talking about, Starbucks, sometimes you'll get to the Starbucks window and somebody already done paid for your Starbucks, right? They paid it forward. Well, I want you to start doing little things like that, but also hand them your business card and say, hey, let that person behind me know that I just now picked up their order, but give them my business card, because if they know anybody with less than perfect credit, they can keep their karma strong by giving me a call and passing on some of those referrals to me. God bless and have a good day. All right. Sizzle cards. You can go to a website called Simple Voice Box. You can set up a what's called a sizzle number. It's only $5 a month. They say, oh, well, I bet you that message has to be incredible. Not really. The flyer has to be incredible. Long as the flyer says something that genuinely represents what it is you offer, man, the message can be singing row, row, row your boat. It don't matter, because whoever dials that number, you're going to get their phone number at 12:05 a.m. that evening, and you're going to find out everybody that dialed that number. It's to the point with me where, if you're in Atlanta and maybe you've been to a spot called the U-Bar, you'll see my ads up all over there, over all the big screens in there, right? I invested in my business, and I use my sizzle card. I hope that's making sense to somebody. All right, number 15. You can go to the bookstore and put your cards inside relevant books. So Think and Grow Rich, 10 Things to Do with a Home-Based Business, Second Chance, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Put these cards in books that have to do with your subject matter, financial literacy, etc., so forth. Number 16, realtor signs, realtor books. There are whole directories of realtors in your city. What are you doing to take advantage of that? You can even take out ads and those kinds of things, but also you can call the numbers on a realtor sign, because what you're looking at is somebody who might want to start a HOPE program, what we call HOPE, Home Ownership Preparation and Education. We just now had one in Atlanta this past Thursday with Miss Altanese Williams, who is not only a member of Nove Money, but she's also recently just become a realtor. Give it up for her. And so she helped us do a home ownership preparation and education class where we wrapped in the credit presentation right into the home ownership presentation. So she's telling them how to get the FHA loans, how to get the down payment assistance. Beautiful training. Going to hear from her again in about a week and a half, But my point is, you've got realtors in your city. Why aren't you banding together with them? I'm going to give you a script soon that you can use with them. Number 17, bandit signs. What they traditionally call highway signs. You see them all over the highways. We'll clean 7 carpets in your house for $4. They're lying. But what you need to know is that those signs work. They work like a charm. It's to the point you don't even want to put your real phone number on them things because your phone will not stop ringing. I want to highly suggest that you try that out. Number 18, wear your billboard. Never will forget one of my friends, guy named Andy. He went to one of these seminars about real estate, and he wore a bright red polo shirt that said, need good credit. And then on the back, it had his phone number. Man, he was a hit of the whole event. Everybody was like, man, I should have thought of that. Well, guess what? You get to think about it in advance. Get it done right now. Go to a mall. Any mall has some embroidery shop or somebody that, stencil stuff in or print stuff on T-shirts. You can do T-shirts. You can do polo shirts. You can do buttons. Wear a billboard. You're going to get more leads. And again, I just promised you enough to up it 10%. I bet you see by now, you could be upping your thing 1,000%, many of us. There's just so many creative things you can do. Creativity is next to godliness. Put your brain power to it, and you're going to figure out things I didn't even name here. Number 19, car signs. You got 2 different types of signs. You can target affiliates. You can target customers. You know the signs I mean. Make money working from home. Make money from Facebook. Make money from your smartphone. Or it could be one that's targeting customers. Improve your credit cheap and fast. Improve your credit. only $29 a month. You know, automated credit repair, $29 a month. You know, you can target affiliates or you can target customers. Number 20, charity events. Not only do these people tend to have a higher net worth, but also they're going to have a high respect level for you because you're there with them. Charity events, that matters. Number 21, trade shows. I went to a franchise program here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it was so incredible that me and Mr. McDaniel flew to the next one down in Miami. These trade shows have, I meant they are a gold mine for you because everybody behind those counters, everybody behind those booths, they all need at the very least a little bit more business credit, don't they? Don't they? And they've never heard anybody that can help them a lot of times because a lot of times, you know, if it's not some huge trade show, like a lot of us are celebrating Juneteenth this weekend. I won't get all deep into Juneteenth, but Google it. It's basically, you know, our July 4th. I don't know if you know, but, you know, when they freed the slaves, a lot of them didn't find out until the next June. It didn't just happen on July, you know. They went in and let them keep on working until like June 19th of that next year. And so that's where Juneteenth comes from. It's when we finally got the news. Point I'm making is if you go to Juneteenth celebrations this weekend, they'll have all of these mom and pop vendors set up. A lot of them have EIN numbers, but have no financial literacy. Help them out, grab their information, you know, let them know what we represent and what kind of transformation we can help them achieve. And I have a feeling that you're going to be happy you did. 22, the fishbowl. It's one of my favorite techniques. Restaurants that you go to, salons, dry cleaners, put a fishbowl in there where you're advertising free credit repair for 3 months. Free credit repair for 3 months. You know, that you're raffling it off. Out those 100 business cards you get, you only got to give away one. Listen, you can give somebody a scholarship on the $4.99 package to a Nove business for less than $1,100. You can't tell me you can't afford the credit repair when you just now got a fishbowl with 50 or 100 business cards in there. And everybody puts their business card in there. What does that mean? They're admitting that they need what? Better credit. So even if they didn't win, they can still win second place, which is a $99 program, or they can win the consolation prize, which is a fundraiser package where they can join for just $1 and then go forth and raise some money the next 30 days. Let's move on. Number 23, employees of places where people need credit. You know what I mean? You'll be ringing your stuff up at Macy's or Saks Fifth, and then they're like, man, you know, would you like a debit card? And you know how you used to be before you joined Nove. I'll be wasting both our time, right? But now your credit score is starting to raise up a little bit. But guess what they're hearing from all day? People who are like, let me save you some time and me and just pass on the offer, but thank you. Well, if they are working for your team, if they are one of your teammates, what they're going to instinctively do is reach in their pocket and hand them a card. Like, you need to call me later so we can get your credit right. Furniture stores, they go through the same thing. Cell phone stores, they go through the same thing. You can think of a bunch more. I'm just giving you a few to get you going. We already talked about 24 a little bit, the home ownership preparation and education programs, and also car buying credit events, you know, in the libraries, etc. Get their info and follow up. A lot of people say, well, how do I do it in the library? But it don't allow you to sell anything in a library. Well, how you do it is you get them to put their name and number on your clipboard. And after they put their name and number on your clipboard, you can obviously follow up with them once you're out of the location that is forbidding you sell things on the premises. Once you walk out into that library parking lot, it's game on, baby. So you can call them on the way home if you want, but you might want to set up appointments. We'll get to that in a little bit later. And then here's number 25. I promised you over 2 dozen. So I mean, I had to go over 24, right? Here's number 25. Car lots are a gold mine. They are a gold mine. My goodness. I wish I had, you know, we were so caught up in the big sale, which is a fix your credit while you drive program, that we forgot something. Check this out. This is the car lot system that I really want to impress upon a bunch of you today. Approach more used car lots, people. Approach more used car salespeople. It's a no-brainer for them because people call them all day with bad credit. Either they have incredible financial literacy and they don't want a new car because they know how much value it loses the minute you pull off the lot, or they got bad credit. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that's about 95-5. I'm gonna say 5% might have incredible financial literacy. They might be a Kiamber Vaughn with an 821,000 credit score. But most of them are calling that used car lot because they have horrible credit. So they're getting leads all day. And I don't know when it's the last time you went shopping for a car, but you'll Google the make, model, year, the color you want, and they'll give you a list of all these websites. You'll click on the list, you'll put in your phone number. Your phone will ring before you get off that website, right? It's somebody calling you like, hey, I got a way that we can get you that car. You like that car? Now, what happens normally, y'all, is if you tell them, oh man, you're calling me too late, I already bought one down the street from you, they would have to trash that lead. Even though they paid really good money for that lead is now trash for them. Not when they become a member of your Nove business. At the point they become a member of your Nove business, they now have two uses for that lead. Hell, they got uses for the leads that from last June. Because God knows that person's still in that car note, and they got that 30% interest rate. They're paying for that car 6, 7, 8 times before they're done with it. So all that salesman has to do is call them and explain to them how horrible their interest rate is for their financial prosperity, right? Scare the bejesus out that person. And then what happens next is they're going to sign them up for the credit repair. And this is why it's so relevant. Most used car salesmen only make about $150 per sale. Did you know that? Now, they might not be able to sell 3 cars a day, but they could darn sure sell 3 credit repair packages a day. This customer has the money in their pocket already. It's only $199 and $29 a month. The car salesman, the car customer already has that money. They got a couple $1,000. They're about to put down some money on a car. That $100 the salesman makes is quite relevant, y'all. Here's the next point. The average lot, shouts out to my man Kamal. He can testify to this. Kamal, if you're in the comments, let him know you're real, man. Kamal can testify to this. I got a few other people that can testify. An average lot gets about 30 leads a day. That's not even a huge lot, y'all. I think I talked to Kamal yesterday. He said that their lot got 80 phone calls yesterday. But we're going to pretend like they only got 30. If you just get 10% of that 30, that's 3 leads a day, y'all. Them 3 leads a day is $300 per day. We're not even talking about during tax season. They finally have a use for all the older leads they had to pay for, who still ended up buying a car from a whole different lot. This is important. They can scare the crap out the customer by explaining how their current car payments work and why they should have bought a car from them instead. And I used a meme on a Facebook post where I described this. All I did was type in good credit versus bad credit car note. And you're going to get all kinds of memes that kind of break it down for you. And then here's another thing you can share with the salesman. Listen, even if the car lot has a boss that's a hater, then they can wait and talk to the people about the credit repair when they get off work while they're driving home and they're stuck in that traffic. They can just go ahead and call the people then. Isn't that true? Matter of fact, I was telling Kamal how, because he was like, man, I'm not always able to answer the phone and get to all 80 of the people, right? Or all 30 of the people. I said, well, here's what you do. Give each of your coworkers $5 to write down the name and the number of the person they talked to that already bought a car. I just want you guys to know this is a gold mine. And I could keep going, but y'all get my point. We got a lot to cover. I want to get through this thing. You can make excuses or you can make money, but you won't do both. All right, we've been through leads. Now it's time to get to meaningful conversations. Or as OJ said, when Chloe called him and told him that Tristan cheated on her, say less. Say less. Right? Y'all don't get that because y'all want to pretend like Chloe don't look like OJ Simpson. Y'all know that ain't Robert Kardashian's daughter. 3 goals in a meaningful conversation. 1, they leave knowing you care. So, that means you got to have your posture right. That means you got to use form, which is family, occupation, recreation, and a mission, right? These are ways that you have a good conversation with people. And then a trick that I always teach people when they're having these conversations with people and they can't get them to bring out a problem, Always assume awesome. So if they're talking about their family, what you do is you say something like, um, oh, I know how you do. I bet you your kids all in that private school tearing them up, huh? How many languages your kids know? Or man, I know how you do. I bet you still traveling about three, 4 times a year, ain't you? Y'all going on vacation all the time. Where did you last go, man? You're assuming awesome. And when you start to assume awesome, they're going to do the opposite and keep it real with you. Like, man, I ain't been out of town in about 5 years, man. My schedule's so crazy. Uh-oh, we just found a problem. And I can go deeper into that with you guys whenever you need it. Just let me know. But the bottom line is that you want to have the posture of a friend. You want to form the relationship using FORM. And when you're looking to pull out a problem, assume awesome. All of that ties into the first goal of the meaningful conversation, which is they leave knowing you care. Write this down. Write this down. Nobody cares how much you know till they know how much you care. All right? Now, here's the second one. You got to leave knowing what to care about. They have to leave knowing you care, and you got to leave knowing what to care about. That means you got to keep a personnel file. Take notes on everything you hear from them, because you never get a second chance to make a second impression. The first time you talk, that's cool. We all knew you was presenting a business. They knew that, you knew that. It's the second conversation that tells the tale, because that's when you bring up their daughter's name is Michaela, and she's practicing ballet. They're like, wow, she really listens to me. You know what? I don't see her as a saleswoman no more. I see her as a friend. So you need to leave that thing knowing what they care about, which is the two what's and a when. What do they do for a living? What do they need the money or the credit score for? And when do they need it by? Write that down. What do they do? What do they need it for? When do they need it by? And then the third goal of the meaningful conversation is that you both leave knowing when you're going to speak again. Let's run through appointments now. We're running through these. Don't forget, I told you I'm giving you 7 different categories that you're going to be able to up by 10% and just transform your business. Here we are, appointments. The power of appointments is that it gives them the gift of anticipation. Y'all, there is nothing like looking forward to something. And when you set up an appointment, that's the position you put yourself in. So one, you get to continue your leadership posture because you're presenting hoops for them to jump through. Now you don't look thirsty, right? And then you're giving them the gift of anticipation because now they got to look forward to it all day before y'all are ready to talk. And then 3, a lot of times the prospect will start piquing interest in his own life early, and I'll give you an example. Let's just say, man, I heard about this program that will help you repair your credit, and you don't even have to mail the letters. You don't even have to write the letters. Man, next thing you know, they asking their coworkers, man, y'all heard about some program where you ain't even got to write the letters and they just repair your credit for you? Well, now they're piquing interest. So you tell them, man, I heard that the government will actually help you pay for it. Which, of course, we're referring to the write-off aspect, right? When they switch from customer to affiliate, we'll get into this in a minute. But when they switch to affiliate, customer just gave away the money. Just like they bought anything else. But once they're a business owner, it comes back because it's a write-off, right? So you get to say little clever things like that. Like, man, and the government will help you pay for it. They're like, man, y'all know about some program the government got? Because your people love a government program. Some program that they got that'll pay for you fixing your credit. Now they're piquing interest with their coworkers. Why? Because you wouldn't give them anything right away. All right. So here's a little script. You might want to take a picture of this. Hopefully this will be of use to you. I hope. So the 5 tenets are excitement, excuse, question, promise, qualify. So you call them up with excitement. Hey, how's it going? Then you give them an excuse. I can't talk long because I gotta, right? Then you say, do you still have to pay that car note every month? That car note's still dragging you? Okay, bro, I just found out about a program where the government will help you pay for that. Well, how does it work? Oh, now see, that's where everybody normally gets thrown off, right? Because they ask how it works, and now you're forced to sound like Warren Buffett, and you don't feel equipped. And so what happens is you end up not even making no more phone calls because you felt like you sounded stupid. Here's how you avoid sounding crazy. You give them an excuse. That's what that second step was about. That's why you said, man, I can't talk long. I got to go and blah, blah, blah. So now when they say, how does it work? You're able to say, well, I can't talk now, like I said, but listen, I promise I'm going to call you this evening and help you see if you qualify. Be watching your phone between blank and blank. Promise makes it sound like now you're doing them a favor. It's a hypnotic suggestion word. You use the word promise, and now it sounds like you're doing them a favor. And then when you use qualify, it feels like you pulled it away. Now you're not thirsty because they may not even qualify. Now we know they're going to qualify, but we're going to ask them that we're going to make sure they think that they got to qualify. Now they qualify. They qualify. Trust me, you know. All right. Let's move on. Hopefully y'all got a picture of that. Hopefully y'all got a picture of that. Here's a new affiliate script you might want to use. Listen, I know this isn't for you, but I need your help, sis. I have to raise $3,000 in the next 30 days, and I can do it with just 5 customers and 10 helpers. And I said helpers on purpose, not affiliates. I purposely didn't say affiliates because that starts sounding like one of them business opportunities. And we're kind of piquing their interest, even though we're telling them that it's not for them. So let me start over. Listen, I know this ain't for you, but I really need your help, bro. I got to raise $3,000 in the next 30 days, and I can do it with just 5 customers and 10 helpers. Can you please give me like 5 people who may have less than perfect credit and want to fix it? Can I call you back around 8 this evening and see what you came up with? Y'all see what I did there? That's for new affiliates, and we're using what we call the Fast Start bonus. I'm sure Coach Bowens is going to get into that in a little while, but those Fast Start bonuses are insane. It keeps your people from sitting around thinking and blinking. And I'm living proof it works, man. People are going hard for these bonuses as they should. But guess what? At the point you're telling somebody you can raise $3,000 in 30 days, they're like, well, hey, I need to raise $3,000. And guess what? If they're on the 249, they can do that. If they're on the 499, they can raise more like 4,000, can't they? All 5 customers and 10 helpers. But that's a quick little script I hope you guys like. Here's another one, the realtor script. Hey, would you mind if I started to send you clients who started their credit repair process and want to purchase a home soon? Now, you know they're going to say, well, no, I wouldn't mind if you send me free money. So then you ask them another question. What kind of ways do you find your customers besides referrals? Now you're gathering intelligence because the places they're finding their customers are places you can find your customers. You hear me? So then you say something else. Maybe we should start doing some home ownership preparation workshops together, right? Something fly like that. Then it's like, let's meet and discuss. Is tomorrow evening good for you, or would Friday be better? You see how each of these, we give them a time frame, because that's the third goal of the meaningful conversation. They got to leave knowing we care. We got to leave knowing what to care about. And we both got to know when we're talking again. Meaningful conversations, y'all. All right, here's another one. Here's another one. The car salesman script. This is designed for when you go on that car lot and you grab their business card, right? Oh, snap. I don't know what just now happened. They must be speeding me up. Man, I ain't take long this time. Y'all, hold on. Hey, can somebody back me up a couple slides? I don't know what just happened. Can somebody back me up, y'all? Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go past that. Back to the top of the car salesman script, please. Great, perfect. Okay, so the first thing we're saying is, it was great meeting you earlier today, man. How's business going for you out there? They're going to say whatever. And you're like, well, I'm reaching out because we're putting together a team of key leaders from the car industry to help us with a simple mission. We're going to help eliminate the subprime credit poverty in this city. How many leads do you think your lot gets every day? How many of them do you think have challenged credit? Perfect. I got somebody you need to talk to. Now, when you get the expert on the phone, you're going to let the expert know how many leads a day that lot is seeing and what percentage of them have bad credit, right? That gets the expert salivating. Then the expert comes on. Oh, well, listen, man, first of all, let me tell you, 3 reasons all our teammates are so happy is 1, you can now convert customers who couldn't buy it all before. We even have a down payment assistant program, right? We even have a down payment assistance program, right? Number 2, you're making your clients give you referrals now. And number 3, you can now make money off every lead, even leads from last year who bought from somebody else. Y'all see what I did there? Now, here's what they continue to say. Our teammates earn $100 per referral and even get their own credit fixed for participating. If the affiliate doesn't want their credit fixed, they can join for just $1. Yes, $1. I mean, it's a $50 monthly after that, but you got 30 days to run the scoreboard up. You can't beat it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being I'm in, Are you at least an 8 or higher? If they say 8, okay, well, what would make you a 10? I need more info. Okay, well, Kamal's going to show you some of the material and videos. Also, if you're on Facebook, he's going to add you to our testimony group. We can talk again tomorrow at either blank or blank, which is better for you. You always want to give them 2 choices, y'all. It's the illusion of choice. It's 2 alternative choices. You let them pick one or you let them pick the other. But at least we leave here with a commitment. What's the word? Commitment. Okay, you have my word. We won't approach anybody else from your car lot or your area until after we decide tomorrow. You have my word on that. You see, I threw that in there to lock them in. Because the whole thing is, yeah, if you don't pick up that phone tomorrow, you know what it is. Now, if they say 10, it's like, okay, well, welcome to the family. I'll turn you back over to Kamal, and I'll see you on the training calls. Just that simple. That's a little car salesman script. All right, let's move on. Presentations. So far, we've gone through leads, meaningful conversations, and appointments. Now we're going to presentations. Here's a hack I wanted to give you for presentations on this beautiful Super Saturday. Presentations start with edification. Listen to me, y'all. If ever the presentation goes haywire, it's probably, if ever the prospect is not responding correctly to your expert, it's the fault of your edification. I don't care if the person has a speech impediment. If you edify them correctly, they're going to be like, man, this dude can't even talk and he getting rich. I know I can do this because you edified them properly. So what is edification? In real simple layman's terms, it's the matching of the stranger's skills with your friend's problems. Real easy. It's the matching of the stranger's strength with your friend's weakness. So you might say something like this. Okay, man, get excited right now. This guy is incredible at helping people like you. Remember the 2 what's in a win, y'all? Remember what they do for a living, what they need it for, and when they need it by. Here's where that comes full circle. Here's where you're using it. Okay, listen, man, you better get excited. This guy's incredible at helping people like you. I mean, you know, especially with problems like that. I know you said you want to get in a house in the next 6 months. This is your guy. You might even want to grab a pen so you can take notes. Please don't make me look crazy in front of this dude, man. He's been helping me with so many things. And, you know, I want him to know that you're the type of person he can help. Get ready. Okay, Miss Vaughn, are you on the line? Right? And then I introduce her. She takes it from there. Edification, y'all. I cannot overstate the power of edification. Okay, conversions. Conversions. What is a conversion? Conversion is closing the sale. Conversion is closing the sale. 3 hacks I wanted to give you for conversion, to up your conversions. Some of you are having 10 phone calls and 1 sign up. That's a 10% conversion. And it's not worse, but it can definitely get better. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it can definitely get better. Here's one way to do it. You got to learn to practice risk reversal. Whenever a salesman is talking to a prospect, one is always asking the other one to take all the risk. Who is it? It's normally the salesperson. It's normally the one that's selling something that's like, man, I know you don't know me from Adam. I know you don't know if this thing even works, but give me some money. You're asking the customer to take all the risk. So what they're going to say most times, I'm straight. Or if they're being polite to you, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm going to think about it. That sounded really good. Meanwhile, they think about some TV show they're about to watch, right? They ain't listening to you. Why? Because you didn't reverse risk. What I'm humbly suggesting to you is that I know your heart. I know for a fact that you would do anything for this customer. I know if something went wrong, you'd give them a refund. I bet you if something went wrong with this customer's process, you would call corporate yourself and figure it out. I bet you if something went wrong with their letters or something, you would mail them in yourself. I bet you if they couldn't upload their ID and their utility bill, you would come over to their house, take a picture for them and help them work. But here's the thing. None of y'all ever say that to your prospect. None of y'all ever go into all of the things you would do if the worst they can imagine were to happen. Because that's what risk is, right? They start picturing the worst that can happen. Well, if the worst were to happen, what would you do about it? And how are you communicating that that's what you would do about it if the worst were to happen? Millionaires, I want to challenge you to think that out and have something to say about that. All right, here's the second hack I'm giving you for conversions. We almost out of here, y'all. Here's a second hack I'm giving you for conversions. We have a program that costs only $1. Now, that lowers the barrier to entry to the point where now it's just them, their mirror, and their amount of hunger. They've got 30 days in which they can make about $1,800 off this fast start bonus when they only paid $1 to begin. If that don't up your conversions, if that don't help that person walk away from the table with a new business, I don't know what to say to you. You got to get serious about that. $1 to get started, that lowers their risk. And then here's the third one I'm gonna give you. This is the all-time greatest objection killer of anything I've ever run across. Millionaires, there's only 3 types of sales relationships. Those of you that came to Advanced Sales Mastery already know this. For those of you that didn't, there will be another one very soon. So get ready. Start putting your ducats aside, right? Listen, there is subservient, which means you're getting walked around the yard by the customer because you're just their little do boy, right? You're being subservient, like their little beggar. There's competitive, where you're always fighting with them. And then there's leadership, there's dominant, there's beneficiary host relationships, which is what you're going for, leadership. So here's the thing. No objection ever becomes real until you argue with it or accept it. Until you get competitive or subservient. No objection is real until you make it real with your response. Some of y'all aren't going to catch this, but that's why I hope we have a replay for you. Some of you do not understand this, and so you're always battling with them about their objection. And all you're doing is make them dig in their heels more. Some of you don't get this. You just accept whatever rejection they give you. They're like, oh, well, he bought that easy. Right on. And now they just lost respect for you because they're like, dang, he definitely ain't no leader for me. If he just going to roll over that quick, don't be subservient. Don't be competitive. Be a leader. And leaders always question objections. Here's what you say. When they say, I ain't got the money, say, oh, man, I'm really glad you said that. You sound exactly like how I was when I got started. So tell me a little bit more about that. Oh, well, man, I'm putting out all of this money on, this cable bill killing me. Uh-oh. And now we're getting somewhere. Oh, man, I just now had to do this for my wife. Uh-oh. Now we're getting somewhere. And the more that we get into it, the more we can find out what the real issue is. But you can't just go around accepting whatever crap they give you. So learn that. That's your number one objection killer. Tell me a little bit more about that. Get them to elaborate so that you can hear what the real problem is, because they was just giving you a lazy answer because they want you to shut up. All right, let's move on. Follow up. So we've been through leads, meaningful conversations, appointments, presentations, conversions, and now it's time for follow-up. Millionaires, nobody joins instantly, but everybody joins eventually. Millionaires, when it's time for you to follow up, what I want you to remember is that follow-up happens whether they buy something or not. You darn sure better follow up after they buy something because now they're your new teammate. You better check in with them about that transformation you promised. But what if they didn't buy? You better check in with them about that transformation you promised. How's it going with that problem? Are you closer to getting your home? How's your credit score working? How's that working out for you? Follow up with them because nobody joins instantly, but everybody joins eventually as long as you follow what we're giving you right now. Leads can be divided into 3 categories, y'all. Hot, warm, and cold. Hot leads are ready to go. Warm leads are going to be ready soon. Cold leads are just losers. They're just horrible. You know what I mean? They love it. They're in love with poverty. Stockholm syndrome got them. Y'all know what Stockholm syndrome is? That's when you fall in love with the person that kidnapped you. So some of these people getting kidnapped by poverty, and they love it now. They're like, man, this is what we do in this family. We struggle, Struggle builds character and all of that. And that may be true, but damn it, struggle to the top of the mountain. Don't struggle down in the marsh, in the muck, in the swamp. Don't struggle trying to breathe and you just laying there underneath the mud. Damn it, man. But I digress. So my point is, people buy when they're ready to buy, not when you're ready to sell. This means you got to be in front of them when they're ready to buy. In other words, you have to follow up religiously. You need a lead warming system. See what I did there? A lead warming system. You got to take them from sometimes even cold. I've seen it happen. I done seen a loser become a winner many times in my life. Every saint got a past, every sinner got a future. You hear me? So how do you build a lead warming system? These have 3 elements. Send relevant, valuable information to every prospect regularly, relentlessly, and frequently. Number 2, communicate efficiently. Not all this one-on-one stuff. You're not going to be able to communicate with your whole pipeline one-on-one. It's just not efficient. It's not smart. And then number 3, you got to log all communications between you and a prospect. I'm going to tell you one way to do this, y'all. Good Morning Millionaire. Some of y'all already know about this. You know, I'm the VP of sales, and I'm blessed and fortunate to be there. But how was I able to be at the top of the leaderboard so long that I was blessed and to have earned this position? Millionaires, I just told you, a lead warming system we call Good Morning Millionaire. Yeah, you're supposed to be on there because we're giving you relevant information every morning, right? But it ain't for you. It's really for your prospects. That's why we never talk about any specific business, because what you're doing is you're making them more comfortable with our culture. And then eventually you're going to be like, I know that guy. Same way we thought we knew, you know, or your parents thought they knew soap opera stars, or we think we know some guy on a sitcom or whatever, because it's just relentless exposure. We're there 7 days a week, y'all. So my point is, it's a lead warming system. Do yourself a favor and make sure you are communicating with your people. Tag them on the broadcast. Make sure they're there. It's the only system that I've ever seen from anybody in a home-based business. And, you know, I'm saying this with all humility because I could be wrong, but I've never seen anybody go 7 days a week, 7:30 in the morning, helping people eat that breakfast of champions, give them some soul food first thing in the morning. We call it 7 minutes of success, or Good Morning Millionaire. It's a lead warming system. That's all it is. It makes it so that now when you're following up with your people, they don't know whether you're calling about, are they ready to sign up yet? Or if you're calling about this morning's topic. Like, man, that sounds like exactly what you were going through with your boss. And he covered 7 ways to ask your boss to be able to work from home, or 3 ways to guarantee you get a raise in 3 months. I mean, it's relevant material no matter where your prospect is in their life, because we're always going over mindset or skill set. Mark that down. 7:30 a.m. every single weekday morning, and then on the weekends it's like 9 a.m. But it's a lead warming system. That's all it is. And I'm not saying you have to use that one. You can start your own. You know, good luck, and it's going to take some fortitude, you know, or you can use the system. And then many of you are going to start hosting these things in the morning. Something else I wanted to mention. Many of our Nove family are going to start hosting. Y'all are going to start seeing the Lioness, Miss Sophia Lightborn on there in the mornings. You guys are going to start seeing, you know, more of the gentlemen from this collective, from this thing of ours. But my point is, get your prospects on there because it's a lead warming system. We ain't going nowhere. All right. Upsells. This is the last one. Upsells, y'all. Upsells. What's an upsell? Upsell is when you go through the drive-through and you got the people saying, hey, would you like an apple pie with that? Now, these fools won't even give you napkins without asking. They won't even give you ketchup, but they offer you an apple pie, don't they? That's because it's called an upsell. And they build that into their company culture, just like they build holding onto the napkins and the ketchup like they're in some kind of profit share program. It's like, who the heck wants these? These are barely even potatoes. How can I get this stuff down without ketchup? They don't care, because what? That costs the company money. But you know what they will offer every time? An apple pie or 2. Because that makes the company money. You got to think the same way with your business. How are you upselling? Here are a couple hacks. Going from customer to affiliate makes the entire investment a write-off. Write that down. We got way too many customers that do not understand they are robbing themselves of income by not becoming an affiliate. They don't understand they're robbing themselves of legacy potential. They're giving away money they ain't got to give away. You know, these gas prices are looking like an honor roll GPA. You know, we want the gas prices that look like a high school dropout GPA, right? All this 3.89. No, we need 2.3, right? We need 1.6. We need some dropout GPA gas prices. But my point is, we as entrepreneurs don't care as much because we get 54 cents a mile, don't we? Going from customer to affiliate makes the entire investment a write-off. How many of your people have you shared that with? That's how you upsell, baby. Number 2, the bigger your package, the more you get paid. If you're down there playing around in that $50 package, if you're playing around in that $249 package, and I know somebody's going to get to it in a minute, but understand, if my upline's under $499 and they're a level 3, so that means they're getting $260 whenever a $499 sells in their entire organization. I don't care where in the organization it happens, $260 is getting paid out to that guy's organization. And I'm on the $50 pack. Do you know I'm still only making money like I sold a $50 pack? So if I'm under 50 and he's under $4.99, and then I sell a $4.99, I only get $20. So who gets the rest of that $2.60? That's right, the guy above me that's under $4.99. Listen to me. The bigger your package, the more you get paid. I call it the practice what you preach clause. I call it the practice what you preach clause. You got to pay like you weigh, baby. And then the last point that I will make is that love always follows investment. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that, you start loving your car more when you invest that time into cleaning it. The neighborhood ne'er-do-wells, you come out, they sitting on you're like, man, get off, right? But if you never wash a rental car, you don't wash a rental car. Why do you think this credit score thing is so important? Because in our community, it's a bunch of renters, right? And a lot of the communities that we come from, people don't really take care of it because you don't wash nothing you rent. You don't wash a rental car. We've got to up the love that we have for our surroundings and our environment. But love always follows investment. So what's my point here? The more you pay, the longer you're going to stick around. If you got people in and they in on that dollar package and they ain't no skin in the game, baby. Now, I know certain people are just really down bad. They're not what we call liquid, right? They are living in functional poverty. They got to do the dollar. But you should not be leading with the dollar. Even if you're going through things that are financially rough, do not project your financial situation onto your prospect. People out here rich, man. People got 401ks. People are riding on a MARTA bus and got Jordans and an iPhone. People are finding money for what it is they want to find money for. Don't lead with the dollar. If you want higher retention, then make sure you make them invest higher amounts of money. I hope this was helpful to somebody out here. I hope you got something from this. All I'm saying is please, man, apply one thing.